Buenos dias, YouTube. Welcome to the Monday morning live stream. Is it still morning? I don't know. It's all now space to me. It's all continuum to me. Just come on here. I had a couple minutes. Probably going to be a brief one because probably something's going to interrupt. But I wanted to come on here just, when I had a chance to field any questions if anybody has any. And also to talk about my ongoing campaign to establish a TikTok position, which is proving to be more of a challenge for me personally than I thought it would be. Simply because TikTok has a different sort of viewership than YouTube. Now, I came on YouTube with the volition of creating short, bite-sized, correct sentence structure videos with knowledge because I knew that with the advent of the internet and social media that people tended to have shorter attention spans than they did 5 or 10 years before. So I created, about 5-minute videos explaining correct sentence structure in little bite-sized portions. Well, take that as TikTok and times it by 100 because the attention span on TikTok and the patience of the average TikTok viewer is extremely minimal. Like, they want their stuff in 30 seconds to 60 seconds, if that. And they're much more, how can I say this? Like, it's more of an attitude of the youth, I feel like. There's very little to no etiquette on there, and I have to keep that in mind. Whereas on YouTube, I keep a very clean vessel. People are, for the most part, very respectful of my terms and conditions. That's all out the window on TikTok. I cannot expect that of anybody on TikTok because no one really conducts themselves like that over there. They just don't care. They just come on and say whatever. They'll come on there and cuss you out if they want to because they have no respect for terms and conditions. They don't know about those things, or they were never taught by their parents. I don't know. But that's just what it seems like to me. That's my own personal experience. Now, there are some individuals on there who are very kind and very respectful, but I'm really trying to cultivate those 3 principles that I'm always talking about. Maintenance of Rule 1, Rule Equal, position of peace, neutrality, and the balance of the honor and the grace over there. And hopefully show some of these youngsters what this grammar technology can do for them. But it's a lot of, it's a pretty big challenge for the average TikTok viewer, I would have to surmise. So, but my channel is blowing up. Like, it's, wow, beyond my expectations. I think I'm well over 300 subscribers by now. And my goal, again, is to reach 1,000 so that I can go live and be on equal footing with these Freemasons that are on here, these religious zealots, these conspiracy theorists, atheists, Satanists, whatever. TikTok gives equal footing to all on there, it seems. And I just have an inkling to step up there and see how correct sentence structure will hold a position with all these other positions, which are fiction, I realize. And it's also a personal test for me. Although I have spoken with, taught, communicated with hundreds and hundreds of people all over the earth, all different personalities, cultures, so on and so forth, TikTok is completely different, I'm finding. It's like the culmination of AI and the internet and the generation who grew up with the internet as a babysitter, who grew up with social media as a babysitter. You set your child up at the table, put the iPad in front of them, and now that's your babysitter. That generation is the generation that I'm speaking to on TikTok. And I'm 50-some years old, so it's quite a challenge for me. But I enjoy challenges. In my former life, I was very, very, very competitive. So when I see a challenge like this, that I'm with the volition of completing, I will give it my all and see how it goes. Thank you, John Roberts. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your viewership. Of course, as always, if anybody has any questions regarding correct sentence structure, feel free to ask. I'm here for you. That's why I do these live streams. Although I do not get very many questions, if you are a regular viewer, you will remember that I did 33 streams. I had a goal of completing 33 streams, live streams, as sort of an experiment to see how many people in 33 streams would come forward and actually ask meaningful questions about grammar, to see who was serious and who wasn't serious. And it proved the point that only the 1% of the 1% of the 1% will ever actually have the courage or intestinal fortitude or motivation to step up and learn the grammar. And that is why the fiction system is not worried about correct sentence structure. And I'm not talking about the people who would rather become a part of a group of people and follow a leader. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that want to take accountability for themselves. They want to be their own authority and create their own autonomy in their own biosphere. Yeah, it's a lot more work, but it's definitely a lot more rewarding than to just hand it off to some authoritarian construct. Greetings. What would you do if a sheriff abandoned a subpoena on your front door? What would I do if a sheriff abandoned a subpoena on my front door? Well, they wouldn't do that, Tyler. I guarantee you they wouldn't do that. Because of certain mechanics I've put into place with my local law enforcement stations. I filed in my domicile contract. So they wouldn't do that. And they have no reason to do that. Because I am with the position of peace and neutrality. And they know that. I have literally physically escorted military personnel off of my location, my domicile. So they wouldn't do that. And a subpoena is a no contract anyway, because SUB means no. It's under something. It's a negative condition of state. Just like sir, sub, soup, SUP. Those are all particles of negation. I really cannot believe it's snowing. It's snowing where I am right now. I really can't believe it. Yesterday and the day before, it was like t-shirt and shorts weather. Excuse me for a minute. I have to turn on a blower. All right, sorry about that. It's alternately raining and snowing here, and it's bringing the buds down off the trees, which is causing a mess on the porch, so I had to get rid of it. But that's what correct sentence structure is used for. If you have closure on it, if you have complete closure on it and you're confident with what it is you're doing, you can establish a position. Hyphen is for wording, making sevens, dashes for location. Is that correct to say? Not entirely, April. A hyphen is used to create compound facts. And a dash may be used to connect one matter with another matter. Like, for example, the location colon tilde 1, and then you put a dash after that, and then space, and then a correct sentence structure claim. You have established a relationship using the dash between the number 1 and the claim. So a dash is used to connect or correlate one matter with another matter. And a hyphen is used to create compound facts. Just a little bit of humor here to preface what I'm about to say. Why doesn't someone petition the chief to file a command of cease and desist to HARP to stop all the weather modification? It's a joke, people. It's a joke. I don't use long dash. Long dash is known as a break in the continuance of the evidence in what is known as the 7 arbitrary codes of ciphering. Specifically 7 military codes. But I'm not going to go into that here. But suffice to say, I don't use long dash because it is used as a break in the continuance of the evidence in the fiction. It's used to unlevel the geometric level playing field. Let's put it that way. So if you're a beginner or even an intermediate at correct sentence structure, that's pretty much all that's necessary to know about it. If you're syntaxing a fiction document, the long dash would be syntaxed as a break in the continuance of the evidence. As you become more advanced and you get closure on the grammar, then we can study further into it if you want to. But for now, that's pretty much it. Thank you for the grammar questions, April. I appreciate that. I don't get too many of those. How about this Mark lowercase k Kishon Christopher fellow talking about establishing sheriffs and coroners? What do y'all think about that? Imagine if he would get some, how can we say this, perhaps mentally unstable or not mentally grounded individual listening to the bullshit he's saying. And they take what he's saying to heart. And they go out and they get a gun and think that they can actually go and arrest someone or shoot someone. You know who's going to get in trouble for that? Not Mark. That's crazy. I hope that no one actually believes what he's saying. I really don't. I hope people don't think that they can just become a coroner just because Mark wrote up a piece of paper in adverb, verb, adjective, pronoun, fiction, babble, and gave it to him and said, "Oh, you're a coroner now." because I happen to personally know a county coroner. And that's a lot of schooling. That's a lot to know about doing autopsies and things like that. It's just insane to me to think of what's going on over there, overseas. And what type of personality would actually buy into what the guy's saying and believe it and throw money at him and support it? I guess it's the same sort of person that would actually act on what he's saying. It's the same thing as when last year or the year before, Russell J. Gould was trying to hire bounty hunters to go arrest people. And then what happened? Nothing happened. Russell J. Gould actually wrote up an arrest warrant for Mark lowercase k. Now, think about this, people. I have, 12 viewers on here now. Think about this. Those of you that know about Russell J. Gould. If he had the power and authority that he claims, why hasn't Mark lowercase k been stopped? Yeah, we can understand that the fiction doesn't acknowledge the fact, and you're not going to find proof of Russell going into the Supreme Court and the judge running out or whatever. You're not going to see anything like that. But this has to do with the quantum grammar community. Mark lowercase k claims to be David Wynn Miller's successor and claims ownership of the flag. This is supposedly RJG's ballywick, and yet he can't do jack shit about Mark lowercase k because the arrest warrant's been out for 2 years. So he can't even do that. I mean, I knew this years ago, that none of these people have any authority, because I know where authority comes from, and they don't have it. Not over other people. One may only claim authority over oneself. It's that simple. But I'm just trying to show you, the viewer, that both of those individuals are fiction babble entities, two sides of the same coin. Sort of like Democrats and Republicans. You got the right and the left. You got Russell, you got Mark. Two sides of the same fiction coin. And neither one of them show any evidence that they have closure on the grammar. How does correct sentence structure interact with establishing fiction business entities? Perhaps this isn't an entirely correct way to ask. Can you glean what I'm getting at? Well, you wouldn't use correct sentence structure to establish a fiction business entity. You would use correct sentence structure to establish a factual business location or business construct. And Andrew, if you're going to use correct sentence structure to contract, everyone that you contract with must possess a correct live life claim using correct sentence structure. You cannot contract using correct sentence structure correctly unless all the contract parties have live life claims, correct live life claims. Now here's the thing, you can have both. You can establish a fiction business, and then you can also establish that same location business as a fact, because fact and fiction can never meet. It's like two different dimensions. But there are ways to do that. But of course, you would have a better cognition of it if you would learn the grammar. The more you learn the grammar, the more you get closure on that, how the mathematical interface works, how it works bureaucratically with the flag protocols, the flag mechanics, the banking mechanics, the postal mechanics. Once all those pieces of the puzzle come together, then you'll better be able to comprehend what I'm saying. about the two different domains. You have to establish domain. Hope that answers your question. Again, it's hard to answer questions like that because what I said probably just brings up more questions. That's why I always try and direct people back to the grammar in these scenarios. You have to learn the grammar. First, he's writing solo like the rest of us. Fiction has acquired lots of force, and our task is to control the flow through the grammar. He's writing solo. Who's writing solo? Fiction has acquired lots of force. Fiction has always had the bigger guns and clubs. That's why it's still in place. And your task, Tyler, may be to control the flow. But my volition is not to control anything, because control, first of all, has a particle of negation in it, control, contra. And then secondly, control means to force someone to do something or something to do something against its will. And I have no volition to force anyone to do anything. So it's not my volition to control anything. I am a steward of my flow of energy. I am a steward of my grammar. I am a steward of my contracts. If someone says they're trying to control things, then they're trying to use force. Might makes right. And if you want to certify what I'm saying, parse the word control. Look it up. Find the earliest nativity root meanings of the particles of the word, and you'll see what I'm saying. Russell is completely 100% fiction entity. And there are people that trickle into my neck of the woods from Russell's neck of the woods who have disengaged from him because it's such a chaotic environment and no one has learned the grammar. No one has had any successes. They're all just hanging on Russell's every word, which isn't even Russell anymore, because Russell, I guess, doesn't even make public appearances anymore. I guess everybody has to go through a middleman, which would be, her name is Rachel, I guess. She's the one that filed the copyright strike on my YouTube channel. So I just caution people, you know, if that's what you want to get involved with, that's that authoritarian type of do as I say, not as I do construct. That's up to you. It's your choice. Thank you. Yes, I understand you don't have the foundations yet, or I don't have the foundations. I'm about to long dash into the snow to work. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, too. Thank you, Tyler, for the questions. Thank you, April. Thank you, everybody. Peace.